Yeah. So, hi, I'm Katherine Lingle. I'm originally from the San Francisco Bay Area. I grew up dancing, went to public school, but dancing was really like the main thing that I did and still do. So I came to UCI just to expand my training and also like get my degree at a university. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Um, Yeah. I actually started dancing at 3.5. It was only because my mom went to this consignment store that happened to be right next to a studio. And so while she was shopping, my dad and I would be like in the mirror, like just watching the dancers. And my parents always thought like, oh, it's just gonna be like a little hobby. Like it's just gonna be like an after school thing. And then it ended up being like this training for God knows how long. But I would be there after school from like 3 to like 8, 9 p.m. And then eventually I started teaching. And then now I'm in college, auditioned for schools. That was the whole process. Then I got into my top school, which was UCI. Went to UCI, have been training, God knows, I think it's like when we are in person, I was training at least like 20, 24, 30 hours a week. I've actually worked with him for the past, this is my third year working with him for our Dance Vision show that premieres in the Barclay Theater. But this year, obviously, it was virtual. So that was a whole different experience. One, having to learn the solo from a video that was like taken a couple years ago. And then like having to learn it in my living room, which is already like spatially limiting. Um, and just he's a very detail oriented person, and he's like, this is how it is, and you must try to do it like that as best as you can. So I think both of us, I'm a perfectionist. So like both of us had to let go a little bit just to like one visualize it in like on stage or like in the virtual setting from like my small little living room in a little Zoom box. So that was definitely one of the most challenging parts of that. Um, and then of course I was actually able to practice in the studios a couple of times, which was really, really nice because I haven't been in the studio since March of 2020. So that was like so surreal. And like,
Yeah.
I almost started crying when I left the first time. And then I was able to, we recorded it in the XMPL with Leandro. His last name is escaping me, but yeah, with Leandro and a couple of like lighting designers and like a whole, we had a stage crew, a really small one, but it was still there. Laura was on Zoom, and then our chair of the department, Molly, was also there watching. But yeah, it was definitely a process, and it definitely taught me to let go a little bit and get my body back into shape. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been very hard just with technique classes because, of course, when you're in a studio, the floor is sprung.
Mhm.
So when you're dancing on like hardwood floor, which is like on top of concrete, it's not like easy on the body. So it's been a learning process for me, trying to figure out how to modify certain things to make sure that I don't injure myself or, yeah. Um, so that, and then that was like one of the first times that I had to perform with people around me. So it was nice to have that energy, but it was still challenging for me because I haven't performed for an audience in so long. So I lost some of those skills that I previously had. Um, but yeah, I think it's interesting because a lot of this virtual learning experience is going to translate to how we like reach the public in after COVID is, well, it's
Right.
starting to end, but like when we're like officially like out of it, you know? Okay, well, I could pick anything. I've had many performance opportunities at UCI, but I think my favorite one has to be traveling to Italy with Professor Lisa Nagel, and we call it DTM2, Dance and Media Technology, I believe is what that acronym stands for. There's so many acronyms, I can't keep up. But yeah, we traveled for 2 weeks and we got to perform and choreograph and collaborate with international artists. So that was definitely a highlight. But I think one of like the smaller like memories that like kind of made my UCI experience like fun, I guess, is just like spending time with the dance major community, because we're like a little family. And so like before performances or like during tech week, we would all just be in the dressing rooms, just like having fun, like just eating snacks, like getting ready for the show, just like completely different than what you see on stage. So I think that's like also another highlight of my experience.
What comes next?
Yeah. Well, actually, like the pandemic has allowed me to transition kind of faster than normal, which is nice because I had more time to do that. I've been researching and applying for different professional dance companies in the concert industry. So not the commercial where you're like music videos and all that stuff, more the like performing arts, like theaters. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I've been applying for companies and I've attended a lot of callback auditions, which is very good. They've all been on Zoom, so it's been very interesting. But I'm hoping to hear back from them in a couple weeks. I'm hoping sooner rather than later, so I can figure out where I'm moving to for the summer. But yeah, it's a lot of just like keeping up with applications, and like I definitely want to dance for like as long as I can. And then from there, like go to grad school for dance and get my MFA, so that one day I can teach in a university setting. But that's like my end goal. So right now it's just like dancing for whoever, wherever. I think one of the main things is to say to learn how to say no to certain things, but also you will get the most out of your UCI experience by saying yes to as much as you can, or as much as you can take on. I think I was a little bit ambitious the first 3 years. This year I really learned to say no, and I will be resting. But I think out of all experiences, I've learned like the type of people that I like to work with and how they conduct an environment that's not only inviting, but like you want to create with those people. And I don't think you'll learn that from not doing said projects. So definitely just like try to get involved and like try to do as many things, because I think that's what's going to make your experience the best. The people. I think, yeah, like I said earlier, the dance department is a little family. Like I know everyone, and like I can walk around campus and just like see some, or just around the arts school, and see someone I know and have like a 10-minute conversation with them and to like catch up. So I think that's like one of the things that I miss the most right now, is like having that connection. Obviously, like we still see each other on Zoom in little boxes, but it's not the same. Um, and so that's what I'll miss the most. I'll miss like sitting at Eco Grounds eating a bagel. That's like that was my go-to snack. Like I would run from our 1100 studio in my socks and get a bagel and then run back. Yeah. I just want to say thank you, Bare Bones Dance Theater. I've loved being a executive member for the past 3 years. And CSAC, our Community Student Advising Committee for the dance department. You guys are like my like family. Thank you guys. Oh. Keep going, keep pushing, find the motivation. I think another thing that I've noticed in classes, it's like, oh, like you feel like you don't have the energy, like you don't have the strength, like just push through it. But at the same time, it's like feel it and like use that to like motivate you, if that makes sense.